What's going on, guys? One love out to everybody. We got UFC Fight Night. Burns versus Morales. Predictions breakdown here, guys. Back in the Apex. UFC Apex there, smaller cage. Before I get started though, guys, hit that thumbs up button. Also subscribe to this channel. Also check out my Patreon account for all my face-up predictions and prop plays. And you can also check out my PayPal account and you can donate there, which would be great. All the links will be down below. Yeah, hit the thumbs up, man. Just get these videos out. You know, you do that, the algorithm will kind of boost up for me. Also leaving a comment down the bottom. You know, it doesn't have to be anything much. You can just talk about the fights. You can share your picks, give your opinions, or what are a fact, or you know, you can say whatever you want to say, man. It's free, freedom of expression here, man. I don't censor nothing. All right, 12 fights in this card here, guys. Let's fly through it real quickly here, but accurately. And this card for me is a tricky one because I can see a lot of fights going the opposite direction, to be honest with you, man. You know, on this card there's a lot of veterans on the card that are slick, you know, very slick, and they will find a win, man. Like I said, and the biggest one is Paul Craig. He's slick, even though his striking may not be as great, but it is getting better. He will still submit you, man. So this is one of these cards here where there's a couple of guys on there who are slick and will find a win, and usually by a finish, man. So this card, in my opinion, from breaking it down, it's a tough one. All right, so whatever you're doing, man, do it at your own risk, because nothing is guaranteed here. You're doing it for fun, it's great, you know. So let's knock this out real quick here, guys, accurately. First fight, we got Luna Pinheiro versus Tecia Pennington. Luna here more has a judo base on her, kind of like a Ronda Rousey kind of vibe. She uses the judo to get you down, and then she look for the submission, right? Like I said, she has that Ronda Rousey vibe, but she will gas out though, man. And she usually gas out after the first round, you know, similar to Ronda Rousey, you know, she'll flip you and then she'll submit you. Alright, so you can see a lot of fights here first round. So it's kind of similar to Ronda Rousey, you know. So when she go long distance, she don't do as well when she gasses out. Her striking is kind of suspect, you know. She will let the hands go, but her chin is high up, and she will muscle through it, kind of force the strikes, right? Aggressive, like I said, chin is up in the air, slows down. Like I said, from what I've seen from her in her prior fights, she has declined, you know, in her recent fights. So she just seems more hittable. She can't get the takedowns as easy. She can't get the sweeps and throws as easy. Depending on who she's fighting, she's very hittable. Just not a good look. But again, she could come in here looking different, right? And also she break under pressure, right? Her opponent here, Tecia, I was going to say Tecia Torres, Tecia Pennington, the little tornado, or tiny tornado, I should say, my bad. She's experienced. It's a neck look to strike, more taekwondo base. But she's a dog though, quick at the movement, can get taken down, and she's hittable at times. But she's more smoother with the punches in a kind of way. But even though she's smoother, she can also smother the punches, then, right? But she put a pace on you though. She put a pace on you, keep coming forward and put that pace and grind you down, man. This one here, like I said, with woman fights, guys, you know, we see it all the time. Like I said, it can go either way when it comes to a woman. Even guys too, you know, when it comes to predictions, can go either way, regardless if it's a woman or a man, right? But when a lot of women fights, sometimes, you know, they tend to drop the ball a lot. So I'm gonna push towards Tecia here. I'm gonna say Tecia by decision, right? And it's 50-50, guys. I'm not confident in this one at all, man, because like I said, Luna could come in here and look completely different, you know, but every fight recently she hasn't. She just does the same thing. She's trying to tie up with the judo and try to throw and everything like that, and then it takes a lot of energy to do that. You know, that is why Ronda was so good at it. Ronda was at a high level. I don't think Luna is at a high level like how Ronda is. So that's why Ronda would flip you and armbar you because it's quick. And Ronda was all first round finishes until she got to go a long distance. And once the flipping is not there no more, then you can't get the armbar. So then what happened? She got outstrike because her striking is not a strong point, right? So I'm going to go towards Tecia. I'm going to say Tecia by decision, 50-50. I'm not confident. Next fighter, we got Hyun-sung Park versus Carlos Hernandez. Park, road to UFC. This guy's pretty good prospect, man. You know, like I said, 9-0. I don't usually like to big up too much of the 9-0, 6-0, 8-0 guys so much because they would drop the ball. But from watching footages, seeing this guy fight, you know, he's well-rounded. His ground game is good. Takedowns are good. Takedown defense is good, and his boxing is good. I look at the skill set of the guy, regardless of, you know, what, you know, numbers behind the names or the undefeated. I just don't. I'm not going to judge him. Just 9-0 is going to lose. You know, you got to check out the guy. Which I watch footage on every single guy. Right. This guy's well-rounded, explosive, very athletic guy. His opponent here, Carlos. Carlos is more experienced, in my opinion, been on the Contender Series. But he can get finished though, especially submitted. I'll say he can get knocked out too, but he's still game though, man. This guy is still game. You know what I'm saying? I had a fight against Toshihori Taharo. Allen as a mentor, you know, those are experienced guys, you know. Was in Contender Series, which he won the Contender Series by a split. This guy's still game, man. Like I said, there's guys in here that are, I wouldn't say he's a veteran, but he's more experienced guys that, you know, they could upset, man. Like I said, this card is kind of a tricky one, man. I haven't seen the odds yet, but we're going to look at the odds after this, do that crazy odd things. Let's see what the odds are looking at, which I can look at it on here, you know, on the topology, but I want to do it, you know, on the MMA bets there, right? So I'm going to push towards Park here, man. I'm kind of liking more Park. I feel Park is his athleticism, his quickness, because he's going to be the quicker fighter, you know, his well-roundedness, and very explosive, and his skill, man. You know, it's not just athletic. His skill, right? So I'm gonna push towards Park. I'm gonna say Park by submission in the second round, guys. Am I confident in this? Man, I would say yeah, a little bit. I would go Park 60%, you know, and I give Carlos 40. Right? Not super confident though. I don't really like to go too high, like 70-80%, because I mean we see with these cards, man. People be dropping the ball on them, man. You know, guys like 80%. Yeah, man, he's have to win. Nobody has to win on this. You know, anybody in here can lose on any night, even if you're, you know, like I guess a super veteran with you know, with very explosive, with knockout power, and you know, you never lost. Still got a chance to lose, man. If you're in here and you put the work in, you are beatable, and any one of these guys can win at any night given, right? So I'm gonna go Park by submission second round, 60% confidence, and 40 for Carlos. All right. Next fight we got Denise Gomes versus Elise Reed. Denise here more raw power, aggressive. She's well-rounded. Don't have any submissions though, but she will attempt them though, right? And she's pretty physically strong, man. What I noticed from her, especially when you see these women and guys, you know, with age, you know, age is a number, but, you know, you see at 24, 25, there's still room for them to improve. So I say that she has improved, you know, against Adora. You know, she did improve in that fight because Adora was more of a crafty, physically strong wrestler with BJJ, you know, and she got a split in that one against KK. You know, she did pretty good in that fight too, you know. So from her Angela Hill fight here, she has improved, right? Her opponent here, Elise Reed, though. Elise Reed is more of a Taekwondo practitioner, karate based, slow at the movement, but she will look to throw like leg kicks and kind of time you, kind of tie up against a clinch, try to counter you. But she can also get control against the cage, and she's not as sharp with it, like you would say like Natalia Silva is. I would say Natalia Silva is more of a sharper striker. with Reed here, she will look to counter, but sometimes it's not as quick. The timing and the precision is not really there. You know what I'm saying? That fast twitch muscle is not really there, like how Natalia Silva does it. But she can still let it off, though, and counter you. But I'm going to push towards more Gomes here, man. I just feel Gomes could be more physically stronger, the more dog, the more person's going to push the pace. And with Reed, it's a little bit slower. I just feel like Gomes, you know, after fighting Angela Hill and other competitors, you know, has gained a little more, gained the experience. So I'm going to go with Gomes. I'm going to say Gomes by KO TKO in the 3rd round. But again, I'm not confident in this one because we see this all the time, like I said, with women fights. So we could see Reed coming in and possibly use footwork, move around. But like I said, she's not as sharp with it, as fast twitch muscles and in and out. She's not as quick with it, you know. So I'm going to go Gomes by KO TKO in that 3rd round, guys. I'm not confident 50-50. Next fight, we got Luna Santos versus Tainara Lisboa. A lot of women in these cards fighting. We got 3 women fights already. Which is good, you know what I'm saying? A lot of women fights are great too, right? It's a good blend, you know. Luna here, Luna Santos, next judo practitioner here. Black belts. She will look to grapple. Obviously, like this, it's kind of similar to Ronda Rousey, like, you know, how the first fight I mentioned there, with Pinheiro, it's kind of similar, you know. She will look to throw, she will look to take it to the ground, look for submission, look for sweeps. Her striking is still in the development stage, though. You know, she will push forward and she'll let the hands go, but you can tell that there's still holes in there, you know. She kind of will slow down after a while. You know, especially if you have to keep the fight understanding, you know, and if she finds somebody who can strike, could give her problems, right? And she will slow down and gas out. So this is a woman here where, you know, she wants to get you to the ground by using the judo and then put the hands on your nasty ground and pound, right? Casey O'Neill, you know, we see that. You know, Casey O'Neill is more experienced, but we also see, you know, if she's unable to get the fight to the ground, then she can get reversed with something that she's good at. And then also the striking, you know, she just couldn't hang with Casey, right? Her opponent here, Lisboa. Lisboa is actually a Muay Thai striker, and she's not bad, man. She's actually pretty good. Actually fought Valentina Shevchenko in Muay Thai twice, right? But hasn't fought since 2023. Because she came off of a knee injury, which I believe this looks like her 2nd knee injury. So it's a knee surgery she had on that same knee. I believe she had one way back in 2018, and she had one again. I believe it's 2023 she had the next one. So she hasn't competed in a while, man. But, man, it's a tough one here, man. I just feel that Lisboa, her striking, her ground game, you know, it's not bad. Right, it's pretty technical, it's pretty skilled. You know, she let the hands go, she let the feet go. You know, she threw the techniques, man. It's not like she shied away from it. She pushed forward and she let the hands go, man. You know what I'm saying? She's not gonna shy back from it. It's not like, say, how Casey O'Neill may look. You know, I feel like she's a better striker than Casey O'Neill. Ground game, I feel that her ground defense is pretty good. She will also get the takedowns. Man, this is a tough one to call here, man. But what I see from Santos, if the fight stays standing up, it's just a striking from Lisboa. I feel that Lisboa is more dominant with the hands and the kicking and the movement, but also the knee surgery. You don't know what she's going to look like. But from looking on her social media, seems like she recovered well, and she's moving around on the leg nice. You know, so doesn't look like any issues. But again, you know, it's different when you're in the cage and you know, then you have to resist and stuff like that and fight back and defend and move around laterally. Then, you know, or possibly even get taken down. And, you know, how is that knee going to look? So this is a tough one to call, man. I'm going to push towards Lisboa here, guys. Like I said, the next woman fight. So, you know, what I see from Santos is just, she does the same thing over and over again. You know, she's very aggressive with the strikes coming forward, but then she's fighting a woman in Lisboa who can strike, that will counter you. So if Santos runs forward and punch, just start throwing punches and running forward, she's going to run into a punch. and what I see from Lisboa can hit. She can hit. And in the clinch, she's nasty in the clinch. So this woman is world-class striking in Muay Thai. Fought Chichenko twice. Lost to Chichenko. But she didn't get finished by her though. She went to a decision. Way back in 2010. But she has striking credentials. Luna doesn't really, man. She's relying more on just like getting your back into a rear naked choke. You know, which is possible because normal rear naked choke with Lisboa. So it's a possibility that Santos could get a rear naked choke if she can flip her and jump her back. But I'm going to go with Lisboa. I'm going to say Lisboa by decision, guys. 50-50. I'm not confident in this one at all, man. Because Santos could come in here and, I don't know, just looks different. But she keep looking the same from what I've seen in our prior fights. Next fighter, guys, we got Conor Matheus versus Yadier Del Valle. Conor Matheus. Conor Matheus, man, he's, I don't want to call anybody chinny, but been finished twice back to back. And if you look at his, also his amateur, he's also been finished twice. So it's a guy that looks like doesn't really handle a hit too well, which your face is not meant to get hit. More wrestler based on him. We look for the submissions, but he's not durable, dude. Been on Contender Series twice, and I believe he lost one time and came back and won in 2023. So this is a guy where he's just not durable, dude. I say he's been knocked out and just knocked out in amateurs. It just seems like if you touch him, he goes out. And yeah. It is what it is, man. That's just your face not meant to get hit, though. And from what I've seen, what I've been noticing a lot of the times, or I shouldn't say a lot of the times, I notice that a lot of these wrestlers, or some of the wrestlers, them are not looking too good anymore. Like if you see a wrestler come into the UFC, may not shine as much like how they used to way back in the days. You know what I'm saying? So, example like that last dude there, Bo Nickel. You know, when you championship wrestler and you know you have all these medals and everything like that, you know you're all American and this and that. It seems like it's not working as well like it used to. You know, 'cause a lot of these guys know or their knowledge and the development is getting better. They're learning quicker and perfecting the techniques, like as far as the sprawl and the defense and the striking and the counters more now. You know, so it's not like back in the days in 1993 when you have the wrestler, or even, you know, in 2000 the wrestler coming there is like, oh, I know this wrestler is going to win. He's world, these guys are all American. He's a champion in wrestling, whatever. He's going to come in and grind out this karate guy, grind out this kung fu guy, or grind out this boxer, whatever it is. You know, you just know that this wrestler guy is going to win. Now it's different because the game is changing, and you can tell a lot of these guys, you know, are learning quicker, and they're learning more techniques, and they're evolving into something into more well-rounded and stopping takedowns. That's it. The wrestler shoots and you can defend takedown, and then the game is over. You can defend and keep your fight standing. So I don't feel the wrestling is looking as good as it used to. But that doesn't mean that there can't be a wrestler that comes in there and then grind out a person. It just depends on the person that he's fighting. But as Conor Matheus looks, though, he will look for takedown, shoot, and all these things, but he's just not durable, dude. And his opponent he's fighting, I believe this guy is, I want to say he's making a debut. He was in a Contender Series, so he's making his debut. What I see from this dude here, this dude is raw. He sits down on his punches. He will brawl at times. Head can be kind of high up. BJJ black belt actually. Will look for takedowns and submission. And this guy got a dog in him. You know, he has a dog in him. Very little defense though, but he has a dog and he's durable. That right there, you know, is just, you know, they call him the Cuban problem. So it's kind of like the Cuban missile, if you remember him. You know, right before, you know, he kind of lost his chin a little bit there. You know, he's getting knocked out a lot, the Cuban missile. So this guy's kind of similar to the Cuban missile, but they call him a Cuban problem. So what I see from Conor is just difficult. You know, like I said, picking guys from Contender Series, especially 8-0. I always speak on this, you know, but you look at Conor, man, you know, you touch him, he goes out, you know, and with his opponent, Yadier, I feel with Yadier, he has a ground game. Like I said, a lot of wrestlers now are struggling with these guys now, especially when you're just kind of basing your art just off of just wrestling. You look at a guy like Yadier, he punches hard, got punching power. He's a dog, he will push a pace, and he has BJJ black belt, and he can sprawl takedowns and everything like that. So I gotta go with Yadier for the win. I'm gonna say Yadier by KO TKO in the second round, guys. But I'm gonna say 50-50 though. I'm not confident in this one. For the, you know, the fact that like 8-0 guy again, you know, from Contender Series, these guys usually drop the ball, man. But like I said, the wrestlers them haven't been looking that sharp, you know, against these guys that is well rounded. You know what I mean? You know, it's not like back in the days you could just grind on a guy real quick. Yeah, you know what I mean? So this doesn't happen like that too much anymore. But I'm gonna go with Yadier by KO TKO second round, guys. Next fighter, we got Gerard Gordon versus Thiago Moss. Gordon here, this guy's a zombie too, man. This guy's a dog. You can say he's kind of a veteran. He's a very experienced guy. He will look to brawl, keep a high pace on you. But he's going to be a slower fighter here. But he was still coming forward, man. And he's durable. Durable at times. Can get finished, though. But he will hang in there and eat a lot of shots, though. Can get rocked and get knocked out. He will dirty box in the clinch. Looks to put that high pressure on you. With Moyes coming from ATT, American Top Team, BJJ Black Belt, we look for the sub. Now he's working a lot more calf kicks now, notice, and we'll switch from the calf kick into takedowns. Kind of try to take your legs out, which could be a good game plan against Gordon. He will look for takedowns and he will look to submit you, man. He's going to be the quicker fighter here, by far. But what I noticed about Moyes here, with Moyes will kind of fade as the fight go on, and it's like I feel like it's more like a mental thing. He would like drop the ball, especially when a guy is completely pressuring him. When you put high pressure on him, he just tends to back up. Then you can start taking him down, and he spends a lot of time off his back. Possibly try to look for submissions. But I see from Gordon is just a dog that's going to keep pushing. And this fight against Nazareth, that was kind of suspect, man. It's a split decision, but Gordon could have gotten that. I just feel like with Moyes will drop the ball, especially when you pressure him. If you leave him on the outside now, then he start throwing calf kicks and start wearing you out. That's different. Gordon is going to know that he's going to come forward. Gordon know that he has to push forward, and Gordon push forward in every single fight. Comes straight at you. He may go to the corner, he may do a little bit of lateral movements here and there, but he's cutting you off and he's coming for you. And he's going to keep punching and keep going for double single legs. Moyes will just keep backing up if the fight is not looking clean for him, which is going to be more, he can throw kicks and, you know, maybe just some punches here. When you start to pressure him, he tends to slow down, then he starts to gas out. So I got to go with Gordon for this one, but it's not confident. I'm going to say Gordon by decision. It's 50-50, guys. All right. Moyes could win. He could take his legs out, but I don't think Gordon's going to give him that room, though. He's going to keep pushing forward. Moyes could also submit him, though. That's a possibility. I don't think Gordon has ever been submitted, though. But first time for everything, though. First time for everything, man. You know, it may not have happened right now. That doesn't mean that it can't happen. You know what I'm saying? So just like, was it Brad? I believe Brad got knocked out in his last fight, the last UFC card. Yeah, Brad got finished against Belzat. Yeah, and that was the first time getting knocked out against a quicker guy who counters, has a karate base, and Brad was a wrestler that was just trying to get takedowns. Like I said, the wrestlers are looking not that good right now at the moment as far as using a strong wrestling. You need more than that from what I've been seeing lately. Let's see here. Where is that? Is it? Yeah, let's see. I believe Gordon been knocked out a couple times. Knocked out 4 times. Been submitted once. So yeah, Moss could submit him. Moss could even catch him with a quick punch because Moss gonna be the quicker guy here. But it's just like But Morris, man, is just, I know I say must, but Morris is just, man, mental plays a big, huge part, man. And when a guy is, you know, sometimes is mentally on, just depending on how the fight's going. When the fight's not going his way, then he breaks. That's the issue. And like I said, Gordon will always be there. Gordon mentally is always going to be there. He's always going to keep coming forward. Regardless, he's going to keep coming forward and he's not going to break. Morris will break. So like I said, Gordon by decision, 50-50. Next fighter, we got Matheus Camilo versus Gabe Green. Camilo here making his debut, straight up debut, no contender series, nothing like that. What I see from him though, counter strikes, mixes it up, leg kicks with punches, forward pressure, can swing kind of wild at time, but he seems well rounded and kind of keep that pressure on you. He's defensively sound for what I see too. He doesn't really eat a lot of shots. You know, his movement, his lateral movements, keep his head off center line. It doesn't look bad. His opponent here, Green, hasn't been in there for a minute. Since last time was 2023, he's been in there. Green will put a lot of forward pressure on you, but the thing about Green is that he's hittable, very hittable. Pressure forward, but his head is straight up. He doesn't take his head off center line, and can get low volume. He can get low volume in front of you and eat a lot of shots. Then he start to fire off, but he's kind of like just stays in front of you and kind of like stare you down. May not do much, and then he start to do a little bit. But then in that little bit of time, he's taking a lot of hits to the face. He doesn't move his head off center line, right? I got to go with Camilo because Camilo, guys, from what I see, he's a heavy hitter and he pop power and he's defensively sound. Green could get takedowns and possibly could look for submission because this guy been submitted twice, so he could probably get a submission, but I see from Camilo, you know, he's been improving on the ground and he just looks good, and he can also, you know, get his own submissions too. So I'm gonna go with Camilo. I'm gonna say Camilo by KO TQ in the first round, guys, but I'm not confident in that one. You know, this guy just jumped into UFC just like that. You know, obviously Gabe Green more experienced, but Gabe Green hasn't been in there for a while. For 2023, this guy's been active. So, like I said, this card here is kind of tricky, guys. A lot of guys has experience, you know, fighting these new upcomer guys. But it seems like these new upcomer guys, some of them are just like, they're learning fast. And they're getting real good. And some of them will drop the ball. So, it's hard to tell sometimes, right? Next fighter, we got my boy Juicy J versus Acosta. Juicy J here is the next dude here, super veteran, skill guy. Not as durable though. You can touch him up and he will go out. But he will submit you and he will also knock you out in the foot too. Hittable at times, will walk you down. He's well rounded. He will look for the finish though. Submission or KO TKO. Slower fighter is going to be Juicy J. Acosta, on the other hand, Acosta is skill. He's well rounded. He will look for submissions or knockout too. And he will look to counter you also. But Acosta leaves a lot of openings though. He leaves a lot of openings that you can expose, and also he gets tired in the fight and you can take him down and all these things. There's just little holes there, man, that you can expose. You can ground and pound him, you can submit him. There's things there that if you are a veteran or a slick fighter, which I feel Juicy J is a slick fighter, the only thing about Juicy J is that he doesn't handle a punch too well and he can get finished, right? If you connect to him, you can knock him out. These fights are this particular fight here is tough because I could see Acosta finishing Juicy J, a strong possibility, possibly even by a knockout. I feel Juicy J has never been submitted, so it'll probably be, you know, this first time for every time, you know, first time for everything, like what I said, but more 7 by knockout, you know. He can get knocked out, dude. You know, just from his other fights, his prior fights, you see him get finished. You know, he can get caught, and can Costa do that? He can, but I feel Costa needs to finish him in the first round to make that happen. If this fight gets out of the first round, you can see Juicy J pulling off a win here, man. So it's a tough one because Juicy J usually gets finished in the first round. So So if he can get out of the first round, you may see a win. But Costa needs to finish him in the first round, possibly by a knockout. Yep, that's what we're looking at here, guys. That's the dilemma right now. I'm gonna push towards Juicy J, man. I'm gonna push towards Juicy J, man. I'm gonna say Juicy J by submission in the third round. It's 50-50. This is based off of what I've been seeing in Juicy J's fights. You know, they both fought Christian Rodriguez. That was one of my biggest decisions there. No, I know you're not supposed to look at the fight like that, you know, the MMA math kind of business, because, you know, usually it doesn't really play out that way, and sometimes it does. But just from the matchup against Christian Rodriguez, you know, I've just made my decision for Juicy J. But it's 50-50, Juicy J by submission, guys, third round. Next fight here, guys. We got Nursulton Ruziboev versus Dustin Straffus. Nursulton here. This guy is very skilled dude, man. Well-rounded. We look for the submission or knockout, but he can drop the ball though too. So, you know, when he fought against Buckley, which Buckley looking real good right now, you know, kind of lost that fight, but he went to decision. But like I said, he could drop the ball, you know, but he's been looking good for a while though, until he dropped the ball against Buckley, but which is not too bad. But when he got you hurt though, he's most likely going to finish you. So if he got you hurt, he's most likely going to look for a finish, man. So this guy is relentless. He's skilled. He's packed power. He has grown. Can get taken down though, but this guy is no joke. 13 and 20, man. 20 by submission, 13 by KO TKO. His opponent here, Dustin. Dustin will push forward pressure a lot. Will also throw the hands, but he's hittable. Right? You can catch him and hurt him on the foot. You can also submit him too. Like I said, can get knocked out or submission. You know, I was reading from my notes here. But he's hittable, man, and he sometimes will force to strike him. And he's just there to get hit. Now, his last fight is against Marc-Andre Barrett. You know, he looked good in that fight. You know, he got a quick finish there. But, man, that's a fight where, if you look at Mark is like up and down. You know, you could get him with that. You know, not taking anything away from Dustin. You know, can he do that to Nursulton? It's a possibility he can do that too, you know, to Nursulton. But I like what I see more from Nursulton, right? So I feel Nursulton is just more well-rounded. I feel like he's just more of a skill fighter. Not taking anything away from Dustin. Dustin is also a skill. You know, both guys in here, they both got a chance to win. Just my prediction. You can say it's just my opinion, right? I'm going to push towards Nursulton, though. I'm going to say Nursulton by KO TKO in the first round, but I go 50-50. It is based on what I see from Dustin against Mark. You know, he looked like he's kind of improving a lot more in the defensive aspect. And, you know, so he looked like he's going there and just go for the kill, which against Nursulton, you know, probably don't want to do that, because I feel Nursulton is probably the more heavy hitter. Well, I feel Nursulton is the heavy hitter. So I'm going to go with Nursulton by KO TKO in the first round, guys. That's just a 50-50, because anything is possible in this game. Next fighter, we got Sodiq Yusuff versus Marlon Santos. Sodiq Yusuff is back. He's back. This is the next guy who's experienced. When I mentioned that there's a lot of experienced guys in this card. Lost against Diego Lopes, but he got caught in that fight. Anybody can get caught. Edson Barboza, he pretty much won the fight. He pretty much won the fight, man. And then he got tired. You know, kind of took Edson kind of lightly. You know what I'm saying? So Yusuff is a good fighter, dude. And if he comes in there prepared, he can beat Santos, dude. I see from Santos, I like what I see from Santos, but his last performance just didn't look too good, man. And I felt that Francis Marshall got robbed in that fight. I felt Francis Marshall won that fight. Francis Marshall hurt him in the first round, almost finished him. You know what I mean? He got knocked down with strikes, which Marshall is no more for wrestling. And Santos got, you know, pretty much beat at his own game. You know, Santos is a slick striker, you know, but he can get taken down and seem like he can get hurt on the foot and get wobbled, you know. Grown and pounded by Dan Aguileta. Sometimes you got to look back at these fights of these guys, because sometimes a lot of these guys, they will change a little bit and improve, and sometimes they kind of will stay the same depending on the opponent they're fighting. Yusuff is this is like a very high level fight he's going to be fighting against Yusuff. It's a tough matchup in my opinion, and I feel Yusuff is seeing it and just experience, and what we see from Santos is coming off of the continental, not continental, he's coming off the tough, and he won the tough and everything, and it looks good. But man, when I look more into his fight, I see a lot of holes, dude. I feel like he can get caught with punches, he can get hurt. And against Yusuff hits hard, man. And Yusuff is experienced. I don't know, dude. I just don't feel Santos in this one. I'm looking more towards Yusuff. I'm gonna say Yusuff by KOTK in the first round, dude. Yeah, I say Yusuff by KOTK in the first round, but that's still a 50-50 because, like I said, Santos, you know, he will pick you apart, and if he can do that and keep that pace, then he's good with it. But Yusuff seen that though, man. Yusuff fought freaking Edson Barboza. He fought Diego Lopes. Fought Arlen Allen. Alex Caceres. He's seen that kind of striking already. Especially from Edson Barboza. You know, who he was beating. I don't know, dude. I'm going to go with Yusuff. This is a tough card, bro. It's a tough card, guys. I'm going to go with Yusuff by KOTK in the first round. But again, I could be wrong. And I'm not confident. Alright. Next fighter, we got Paul Craig, the co-main event versus Rodolfo Bellato. Paul Craig, man. Paul Craig does what Paul Craig does, man. He will look for submission, especially when he's on his back. Triangle choke, armbar. More experience, and he's a slick, like the other guys on these cards, like I said, who are slick. Striking is still suspect, but he will throw it out there and, you know, look kind of okay, I guess, in some kind of way. But he's hittable still. Faces there to get hit. Against the opponent here, Rodolfo. Am I saying that right? I'm going to say Bellato. Against the opponent here, Bellato. Rodolfo. Against Bellato, Rodolfo Bellato. What we see with Bellato, Bellato is a dog, man. But I feel his IQ is not that great, dude. Never been subbed. But, you know, you look for the knockout. You look to take your head off. Very aggressive guy. He's kind of durable, but he got finished by Vitor Petroni twice, you know, back in Max Fight 22 and in the Contender Series, you know. So his fight against Jimmy Crute was kind of back and forward, which he got hurt in that fight too, but he hurt Jimmy Crute. I don't know, dude. This is a tough one because I could see Paul submitting Bellato. I could see Paul Craig submitting Bellato, but I can also see Bellato catching Paul Craig with a punch and finishing it by a knockout. So this can go either way, man. And the quicker fight is Bellato, obviously. Guy that's going to push forward, you know, is going to be Bellato. Paul may jump guard though, but Bellato seems to have a ground game on him. But Paul will jump guard. And in the guard, you know, Bellato will just land on punches, but then you got to be, usually in Paul Craig's guard, man, you will look for armbar and look for armbar and triangle, man. So oh, bro, and this guy here, he lost the Contender Series, obviously the Vitor, but I don't know, bro. Yeah, this look like it could be a fight for Paul Craig to win, huh? Strong possibility, man. Possibly even by submission. I'm gonna go with Bellato, dudes. I'm gonna say Bellato by KOTK in the second round, guys, but I'm not confident in it. Like I said, Paul Craig could come in here and pull off a win, but just against Bo Nickel, that's the way how he's looking. He looks slower. You know, I haven't had a submission since 2023. Actually, he didn't have a submission in 2023. His last submission was in 2022. Trying to choke against Nikita, which again, Nikita is in his guard. So as long as Bellato doesn't play around in his guard, I think Bellato should win. You know, that's pretty much it. So I'm going to go with Bellato by KOTK second round, 50-50, guys. I'm not confident. Next fight here, we got Gilbert Burns versus Michael Morales. Burns there, man, is a neck. This fight here is a tricky one. This one you gotta be careful with. You know, Burns is a super veteran, skill guy, BJJ black belt. Will submit you, will also knock you out on the foot, but he can get taken down. And there's been a lot of wars, man, and have a lot of injuries lately. But You know, he looked okay against Sean Brady. He was looking good against Jack until he got caught with punches and got finished. Issue about this fighter, Michael Morales, is a skilled dude. He's undefeated again. You know, this guy's a prospect versus a veteran in Burns. But this guy is skilled, athletic, explosive, you know, tricky with the striking. He's going to have an 8-inch of reach, which is massive. Will ground and Ponyo. Will also look for a takedown, but it's a 5-round fight. And we look at Michael Morales. He has never fought a 5-round fight before, but he seems to pace himself very well though in this fights. You know, he doesn't really bust a sweat until maybe the second round into the third. You know what I mean? So he hasn't fought a 5-round though. You know, experience goes a long way. You know, beat Neil Magny, Jack Matthews, Max Griffin. But, you know, those are good guys to beat. Burns is a different animal though. Burns will look for takedowns and grind and try to come up with a game plan to pull off a win. That's what veterans do. Experienced guys do that. You know, with a guy like Morales, you know, still upcomer, you know, 25 age and number, but every fight he should be getting better and better. You know, I mean, he has still got room to grow. You know, look at Burns' age. I say age is a number still, but you know, just Burns like 38, age is still a number. That I mean that Burns can't come in here and pull off a win, to be honest with you, man. I was back and forth on this one. I was kind of sliding a little bit towards Burns, but I just feel a reach advantage from Morales, 8-inch reach, explosiveness, athleticism. I just feel like these new upcomer guys, like the Moraleses, them, you know, these guys are like, these guys are going to be tough to beat, man, in my opinion, you know. Yeah, and the other veteran guys out there that are upcomers now, these guys are like explosive, like on a different levels, you know. That I mean Burns can be sneaky and be slick and pull off something, but I'm going to go towards Morales, but I'm not confident, guys. I'm going to go 50-50, you know, half and half. I mean, now I must say Morales by decision, but I can see Burns getting something here, though. It's a strong possibility, man. But Michael Morales, his athleticism, explosiveness, that reach, he could play a factor, and his striking is kind of unorthodox, but it's effective though. You know, it looks loopy from all kind of direction. He will jump in with roundhouse kicks and all these things, and just punches from every angle, which is tricky. You know, it's good to have it like that, so that it's hard to read. But he gets the job done though. So I say Morales by decision, guys, 50-50. I'm not confident. All right. Quick look at the odds here, guys. See what we're working with. These crazy odds. I haven't seen the odds yet, so curious to see what these odds are going to look like, bro. Crazy odds. Let's see these odds, because I know these odds are going to be freaking bananas, dude. Connor, hold on there, bro. Yadier is at -520. Wow, bro. So the guy straight from Contender Series 8-0 is -520, bro. Conor Matthews, like I said, he can't take a hit, and I can see why, because just from what I'm saying, did I have that fight at 60%? Let me see. Did I have him at 60%? No, I had that fight at 50-50, half and half. So I disagree with the odds in this one, even though Conor doesn't look as good. But a guy like Yadier is making his debut, guy, you know. We see this all the time, you know. So I feel it's too high on the odds, dude. That's pretty much it. Tecia Pennington, 300 and something. What I see from Luna, it doesn't look good. I feel Tecia should win, but I still think it's kind of high. Like I said, with a woman fight. See this all the time, man. Anything is possible, dude. So the odds are starting off to be crazy. So Park 192 against Carlos Hernandez. I think I did have Park 60, yeah. So I don't disagree with that. It's not too high. I have Park at 60%. So I feel he should beat Carlos, in my opinion. Denise Gomes at 600 and something, dude, against Reed, man. Damn, man. No, man. I mean, I like Gomes, but Elise Reed still experienced, still got some skills on her. Still has a taekwondo karate base, still in and out, will look to counter. we see all the time, man. You know, women fights like this, they drop the ball. I like Gomes, but at 600 and something, man, it's freaking crazy, dude. So that's crazy. Santos 170. Oh, they're liking Santos in this fight. They're liking Luna Santos in this fight. Wow. So she's a favorite. So they got Lisboa at underdog. I'm liking Lisboa, guys. I like Lisboa for this one. So she's underdog. So I guess that's a good thing. I would say this fight is more even, but I like Luna 170. I disagree with that. I feel Lisboa is actually the better fighter, in my opinion. Yep. Even though she coming off of injuries, knee injury, surgery, whatever, you know. That's the second time she had knee surgery. So it wasn't the first time. Yeah. Okay. Jordan, even fight. Well, they got Jordan. They got Gerard, a slight favorite. You can say it's kind of even. So, okay. So they see this one right. I'm actually liking Gordon in that one. Matheus against Green. They got Matheus at 230. No, man. This guy here is just coming into UFC out of no, you know, he's out of some other organization. You know what I mean? Like I said, with Green, he's hittable and everything like that. But we see this all the time. You know, guys coming from different organizations, they will drop the ball, man. They will drop the ball, dude. And Green is still an experienced guy. You know, still got a little experience, even though it's hittable. And on paper, I like how Matheus look. But at 230 though, man. Yeah, but I'm not saying that Matheus can't win, but let's still be careful, guys. Acosta 170, 180 something. Damn, dude, this fight is even, bro. Erosa and Costa is freaking even, dude. It's even. Yeah, Costa couldn't land a punch and knock out Erosa just as much as Erosa can take down Costa and submit him, or Costa get caught in the guillotine. I wouldn't be so high on Acosta, man, because Acosta would drop the ball. Yep, he would drop the ball, dude. And Julian Erosa is a slick dude that always pulls off fights, man. Always pull off the underdog. Always, dude. So, and I feel Erosa is more experienced, seen it. But again, he's not durable, though. Maybe that's why. But it's an even fight. But they got Erosa as underdog. It is what it is. Nursulton in 300 against Dustin. I'm liking Nursulton. I feel Nursulton should win this fight. But be careful with it though still, because Dustin seemed like he would just go on a limb, just run forward and just throw a bunch of punches and try to get the finish. But against Nursulton, I feel Nursulton is a heavy hitter. So probably doing that, he get countered and knocked out. So I like Nursulton though, but it's not so bad. I feel Nursulton should win the fight though. Yeah. What the rest of the fights are. And that's all of it. Okay, they got Santos as a slight favorite here, huh? Yeah, I got Yusuff as underdog. I'm liking Yusuff, bro. What I see from Santos' last fight, no, man. If he fights Yusuff like that, most likely he could get finished. If the Yusuff comes in how he usually comes in, you know, like comes in prepared, right? Paul Craig underdog here. They got Bellato at 500 and something. Oh, bro, man. Paul Craig. These odds are crazy, guys. Bellato can win this fight, bro. Obviously. Bellato can win the fight, but Paul Craig can also win the fight, too. You see, Paul Craig always pull off upsets, man. Like I said, this card here could be one of them upset cards. Am I confident in saying that? Not really, you know, because, again, the guys that they're fighting, some of them are withered, and they can't take a hit. Like Paul Craig. Slow out the movements. Doesn't really take much to finish them. But if they jump you back or get you triangle or armbar, they will finish you. And there's also experience. I disagree with Oz in this one. I think it's more of a closer fight. I will give Bellato the slight edge, but not at 500 or something, though, man. Yeah. Michael Morales 800 and something, dude. Nah, dude. Against Burns? Nah, man. Burns is a veteran, dude. Been in 5-round fights. He knows how they pull the win off. This guy's a veteran. We look at Michael Morales. Yeah, you know, he got some wins. Explosive, 8-inch reach, which is massive. Looks good. Looks a good, very good prospect, but at 800 and something, bro. Nah, man. The value is on Burns. Same way the value is on Craig. Same way the value is on Yusuff. You know what I mean? We look at here. Same way the value is on the value is on Erosa. You feel me? So you got to be careful with this card here. The value is on Lisboa. Value could even be on Elise Reed as a woman fight. This card is tough, and the odds don't look right to me. The odds look upside down. Look like it's set for big underdogs to hit. So that's it right there, guys. That's it. Just do the best you can, and nothing confident here, man. You know, you play at your own risk or whatever you're doing. Doing it for fun, that's great. But you guys keep on kicking, man. And one love out to everybody. And let love guide you, not hate, man. Keep a positive mindset. And whatever happens, just keep moving forward. As long as you keep moving, you'll be good. Never stop. It's kind of like you see water or a pond just sitting there, it doesn't flow. You should stop moving. It's called stagnant water. You know what happens to stagnant water? It dries up. No matter how you feel, mentally, physically, or spiritually, keep on moving. Keep on doing what you love to do. Keep on pushing towards what you want. Don't stop. When you stop, that's when it's not going to work for you. That's when it's not going to exist, because you gave up when you stop. Only way you're going to achieve it is when you keep consistent with discipline. That's it. So keep on moving. One love, guys. Os.